Hi, my name is Mike Dillard, and this is Self-Made Man, the podcast for men who want to leave their mark on the world and create a legacy of honor, integrity, and achievement in every aspect of their lives. I'm glad you're here, and once again, it is time to forge your destiny. So today's episode has the potential to radically shift the way you think about and treat your customers, and as a result, the way your team does as well. Randy Cohen is the founder of TicketCity.com, and he's been a personal friend of mine here in Austin for the past 5 years. And there's two things you'll notice about Randy the moment that you meet him. First and foremost, he's always happy and in a fantastic mood. And second, he genuinely cares about the people he is with. Now, over the last 20 years, he has grown Ticket City to a $100 million company, which is obviously an incredible feat. But what really rocked my world and what I had not known until this interview was the length that Randy is willing to go in order to ensure his customers are ecstatic. The stories he shared today will forever change the way that I think about customer service, and I have a feeling they will do the same for you as well. So please help me welcome one of my favorite people in the world and an incredible entrepreneur, Mr. Randy Cohen. Well, today I have the pleasure of introducing y'all to one of my favorite people in the world, a very good friend of mine that I met, 5-6 years ago on Necker Island, of all places, and he's just been a very special person to me ever since then, a fellow Austinite, Mr. Randy Cohen. So Randy, welcome to the show, brother.
Stand back, non-believers. Very excited to be on the show with you, Mike. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic, brother. Another wonderful day here in Austin, Texas.
And I hear you just road tripped back in from Monaco, where you were saving the world one race car at a time.
It was... it was a bit of culture shock coming back to Austin. That was my first trip to France, and to start in Monaco and the French Riviera is probably not the best place to do it because expectations are about as high as they get now. But coming back to the cement grid that is the United States and Austin, even though it's an absolutely gorgeous town, it's very different. What can I say? I don't know if you've had a chance to visit that part of the world, but it definitely changed perspective for sure.
Well, just keep on talking about how bad Austin is. We need to keep people away from moving here out of the 150 people a day that keep showing up.
Well, it's crowded now when it's a Sunday afternoon on Mopac and you're driving at 5 miles an hour.
Yeah, what's up with that? We got to fix that.
Well, Randy, you and I got to meet on Necker, which is it's tied for my first favorite place on the planet. After Monaco and Necker, those are my two crown jewels as far as experiences go in my life. You've had a chance to go a few times more since we went the first time. But tell us a little bit about your background and your story as an entrepreneur.
So a little bit about me. Randy Cohen, Chief Energizing Officer of Ticket City, where you get the best of tickets for the best of times. I'm also a father of 3. I have twin boys that are 22, going to school at CU in Boulder, and a daughter who is 16, now driving, that's about to be a junior at Lake Travis High School here in Austin. I'm also a boyfriend, a brother, a son, and, enjoying life and trying to create balance and still enjoying the journey of running a company. And I'm also an author. My newest book that we're talking about today is called Secrets of Swagger, How to Own Your Own Cool in Life and in Business. And I just love being able to give back. I mean, I've learned so many things over the years. Ticket City is now doing close to $120 million in revenues between both businesses. We're a marketplace as well as a brokerage company that actually owns inventory, and we try to make it very easy for people to order seats with some of our technology where you can just go on our site at Ticket City. And if we know a little bit about you, we can give you 2 or 3 suggestions and you order tickets in a flash. So that's what we're doing, saving the world one ticket at a time and making a lot of dreams come true.
And when did you start that business?
Started the business in 1987. Actually, 1990 is when Ticket City, I started full time. And basically what I did is I took my life savings of $1,200. I bought $206 seats for the big game. It was the University of Arkansas, number 1 in the country in basketball, playing the number 3 running Texas Longhorns, who were actually number 3 in the country. And I thought the game would sell out. I bought $206 seats, and the game didn't sell out. So I had to go out to the stadium, and they're getting ready to sell tickets. And sure enough, at the box office, the little lady says, "We're sold out." And there I was with 200 seats saying, "Hello, everybody." And I sold all my $6 seats for $15 a piece, and made a quick $1,800 for all you bean counters out there. And that's where Ticket City began way back then. And we're about 28 years old now, and I'm still enjoying the journey and making a difference. And we're fighting the good fight against some of the larger competitors out there, and having a great time.
So that's a big jump, right? Like to go from quote unquote scalping a few tickets, as an experiment to earn a little bit of pocket cash, to building $100 million plus business. When and how did you start to think about it a little bit differently, where, you know what, I'm going to start a website? And is that where you started, or did you sell tickets on other platforms like eBay? But how did the evolution take place?
Yeah, great question. As the journey kind of unfolds, we were one of the first companies out there in 1996 to actually set up our marketplace. We were ahead of the game, and I didn't have the right coaches in place to coach me on how to put the pedal to the metal quicker and do the things that you really need to do to get ahead of the game and to take chances. So, we puddled along, and we kept on having slow, steady growth. And nothing's wrong with that, because I didn't get the scene back in the year 2000 when everybody was throwing funny money at things, and I just didn't get it. I'm from that old lemonade school model. You buy your lemons and your sugar and your cups, and you sell what you have, and then you go refuel and buy more. And that's what Ticket City did. We're now debt-free as a company. We have 61 employees. We're still having steady growth. We grow at 25% a year. But in today's day and age, people want you to grow, 50 and 100% a year. So we're constantly trying to balance all that and still be very competitive. So we're still enjoying the journey.
So, there's very few entrepreneurs out there that I've come across who've stuck with one business for as long as you have. We tend to be a little ADD, and at least in my case in particular, I'll get satisfied with the work that I've done in a particular niche or subject matter, and I'll want to go move on to something else. How have you managed to kind of keep your passion for your business and to continue to build it?
So a couple things. Number one, I have a great team in place. My management team's been with me for an average of 20 years per person, so I'm really proud of that and excited to work with these people every day. They do a lot of the heavy lifting. And in a nutshell, I have ADD with the rest of the world of entrepreneurs. I just had my second book, Secrets of Swagger. The first one was Ticket to the Limit, how passion and performance can transform your life and your business into an amazing adventure. I also like investing in a lot of companies, and I'm on board. So I keep myself plenty busy by mixing things up, and then, like yourself, getting to go on a few of these really cool adventures when the chance arises, like we got to hang out together in Necker years ago.
How do you keep your drive each year from a goals perspective, right? Like, your business is doing well. You could probably just cash cow it and live a life of leisure, but you don't. You go up and you show up every day. You have like you mentioned, a team of 60 people. And is it just a matter of you setting growth goals or financial goals year end that you go after? But what kind of target do you set for yourself to keep yourself hungry, essentially?
Yeah, we're still fighting the good fight. When you have companies out there that are doing $3 billion in revenues or $4 billion like StubHub, and you're only at $100+ million, you have a long way to go. So you really have that drive to try to catch up to your competitors and try to take market share. So the numbers don't lie. You have the metrics, and they show you how you're doing. So it's like the great game of business. You want to win, and the way you win is you have to show up. And I do that every day. I'm not working the 16 hours that we put in the beginning of time when we're growing companies, but you show up every day, and you're in the office by 10, and you know what's going on, and you're giving your ideas and your feedback and your energy and your passion. And we still have the morning huddles with the teams, and we still have the management meetings. And today we have the monthly all office meeting, which I love going to. I get to check in and see how everybody's doing at my company, and we're loving making a difference out there for people to go to these events that are their passion and their dreams. Just like you just got to go to an event in an F1 race in Monaco. That's a pretty cool thing.
So what's y'all's differentiating factor over your competitors? What makes you special?
So that's a great question. We have developed something that I call My Ticket. So when you go to our site and our app at TicketCity, our TicketCity app, if we know a couple things about you, we're able to make it very easy and quick for us to give you what I call recommendations. And there's thousands of choices out there with tickets. Do I want to sit upstairs, downstairs? What kind of view am I looking for? But if I know a few things about you, I can just give you 3 choices and say, Mike, we know these factors about you. And if you even give us a couple more, I can decipher things through our artificial intelligence and our metrics. And we could say, you're going to be very happy in these 3. Go for it and enjoy the event. So you got to keep it simple. It's the old Amazon model. How can I make it very simple for you to press the easy button and you're good to go? Because, there's not enough time for us to get stuff. We want to check the boxes off and move on to the next thing.
Yeah. I mean, I would like my airline tickets. I'm super specific about what I want. Aisle or window, never middle, right?
Right.
Nonstop flight, essentially. And it sounds like y'all have put together a very similar system there, to where for me, if I'm going to go to a show, I want the best seat and, not really a budget in place as much as making sure that the seat you get is memorable and it's as good as it can get. So I'm assuming that's a criteria that you could plug into that, and that becomes your priority set, essentially.
100%. I mean, I don't go to that many events anymore. I'm pretty picky when I do go to something. So when I do, I want, like you, the best seat in the house, and I want to really enjoy myself. And there's other people that they might be more cost effective and it's a budget scenario, or somebody might want an aisle because they have a bum knee. So if we have enough information about you, we can just be specific, point you in the right direction, and you can click it and get your ticket.
So one of the sound bites that you mentioned a few minutes ago, which is really impressive, is the fact that your executive team has been with you 20 plus years. So walk us through the reason for that, whether it's company values, how you guys run the business, but that's a really rare characteristic. So how have y'all managed to do that?
So, I'm real proud of that. That's both good and bad, I've realized over the years. It's great because your team knows each other and they can work together and they're very cohesive. One of the reasons everybody stays is we have a great culture. We're always one of the best places to work in Austin. We make it fun. We're in the creating dreams and entertainment business. So the culture is absolutely very important. That's just one thing. One of the most important things I really believe is that you have to empower your team. I can't babysit them and tell them and micromanage and control them. And by them being empowered, it works out perfect. People like making their own decisions and being in charge. So if they get to do that, they're on their way to growth. And that's what TicketCity has consistently done every year, by people empowered to make decisions for the good of the whole. If it's right for TicketCity, if it's right for the customer, and if they don't mind reading about it in the paper the next day, whatever they're doing, by all means, I want them to go for it.
So one of the things that you talk about in the book is the difference between character and reputation. And I thought that was really interesting. It's something I took notes on. Could you go over that with us?
So in business, you have to have good character. And the word gets out so fast if you're not doing the right things for the right reasons. And at TicketCity, we do the right things long after the feeling of doing them leaves us. And I'll give you an example. My big epiphany happened in the year 1996. And what happened was I got a phone call. It was during the biggest event we ever handled. It was the Olympics in Atlanta. And I'll never forget, I got a phone call from this lady asking for opening ceremonies tickets. And she said, I need an opening ceremonies ticket. Do you have any? I said, we have great seats. How many do you need? And she says, well, I just need one. But the thing is, I don't have a ride. And I'm thinking to myself, you don't have a ride? That's kind of strange. And I thought, Randy, you got to do this. This is what Ticket City's all about, doing the right thing long after the feeling of doing it leaves you. And I said, ma'am, it's your lucky day. I'm coming to get you. And I went and I rented a black Lincoln Continental from the airport. I drove an hour and a half outside the city and picked up this lady. She was a 75-year-old grandmother, Mike. And she was so excited. She couldn't believe she was going to get to knock off something from her bucket list and go to the Olympics. And I was so filled with so much gratitude. I was like, Randy, I'm so glad you made the right decision. We drove an hour and a half into the city. We went to the opening ceremonies. We saw Muhammad Ali light the cauldron. We saw all these amazing athletes and their colors walk into the dome, and it was electric. And she was practically crying. She couldn't believe that she was getting to go to this event. And it was spectacular. So I got her home that night and went to the office the next day, and word starts to travel through the office. Did you hear what Cohen did? He blew off his plants and he took a grandmother to the opening ceremonies. And that's what they start doing. They start going above and beyond the call of duty, giving amazing service, doing the right thing long after the feeling of doing it leaves them. And that builds the character of the whole company. I think I talk about in the book John Wayne. You know, that's one of the greatest celebrity cowboys of all time as an actor. And he just was ethical, doing the right thing and saving people if they needed to be saved, and, you know, helping people if they needed help. And that's what character is all about.
Yeah, that's an awesome story. Do you have any others I've got to ask along those lines, or at least as memorable as that?
Well, we have lots of stories. I mean, you know, a little story that I remember is even taking my mom and dad to the Super Bowl years ago in Florida. And I'll never forget, the game was about to start. I had my mom on my right, my dad on my left. The energy was electric for the Super Bowl. The F-15s just, you know, jetted over the stadium. I think Bette Midler just belted out the national anthem. And it was rocking. And my mom to my right looks at me, looks away. She looks at me again. She looks away. Looks at me one last time, and she goes, son, who's playing? And I thought, that's beautiful, Mom. I just spent $1,500 a ticket for each of you guys to go to the Super Bowl so you could tell your Marjan buddies that, you know, your son took you to the game that you don't care about. And then I said, yeah, that's what it's about. Happy times and past experiences never die. Memories hold on to them forever. And that's why you go to these events, to create amazing lifelong memories for you, your friends, your family, and or your loved ones.
Yeah, absolutely agreed. Absolutely agreed. So, you know, the title of the book is all about swagger, and you've got that, you know, as one of your defining characteristics. You walk into a room and you just light it up, and you really just have a talent for that. I've never once ever seen you mad, angry, sad, or anything other than just happy to be exactly where you're at when you're there. Is that a conscious decision for you, or is that just how you're wired?
You know, no one's up all the time in life. You go through, you know, ups and downs. But at the same time, yeah, life is precious. I mean, let's enjoy every moment. Happy times and past experiences never die. Sparkling moments, hang on to them forever. And I'm passionate. I mean, it's so much more fun walking into the room going, woo, woo, stand back, non-believers. How's everybody doing? Versus, you know, blah, blah, blah. And it's just fun being up more so than down. And I love what I do. I'm very fortunate. I mean, I'm in the entertainment ticket business. I've gotten to see some of the most exciting events that entertainment has had to offer, and just great memories from Olympics to NBA championships to Super Bowls. So it's been a wonderful journey for me. And I've learned so much through running Ticket City. That's why I wanted to give back with the Secrets of Swagger, how to own your own cool in life and in business. What takeaways have I learned from running a company and doing these things for others that can make a difference. And if someone else can get a couple takeaways and pass it on, I'm all about that. And that's why I talk about collaboration in the book and having charisma by, walking into the room and lighting it up and trying to make things fun and engaging. Let's get the most out of the people we're with and challenge them to step it up as well.
I've just noticed a huge difference when I'm in that kind of space and I make the decision to introduce myself to a new group of people or whatever it may be with some energy, frankly. And the opportunities that come from that are pretty amazing. We've all known and all heard that old quote that it's not, essentially, gosh, how does it go, Randy? You're going to know this. But at the end of the day, it's how you make a person feel, right? And that's just critically important. And I think the foundation of that is self-confidence. And that's something that you really, I think, just kicked the book off with in the beginning. But other than saying, okay, just go be more confident, right? Like if you're depressed, stop being depressed, Johnny. What is the secret behind helping create self-confidence in yourself? Yeah, that'd be a great explanation there. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
More self-confidence in yourself.
When you nailed it, Mike, it's not what we say. People aren't going to remember anything that we say when we're in a room, but they are going to remember how we make them feel. And when we go to some of these events, and I do this all the time, when I'm in groups of 10 or 12 people at a dinner party or my kids, I'll go around the table and say, hey, everybody, let's talk about the best moment of the day, or get everybody to do their elevator pitch. We all know we can talk about ourselves. And if someone at a table can introduce themselves and talk about themselves and then listen to everybody else talking about each other, they're going to be engaged and they're going to find out that they have commonalities with everybody. Kind of how I started this off today, talking about my kids. There's a lot of people that have kids like I do. So we have something in common there. Or there's a lot of people that listen to your show that are entrepreneurs. You have commonalities, and it's exciting when you find those out. So when you get to go around a table and introduce yourself, and it makes things exciting for everybody there, and it really increases the energy. So even if you don't feel like going because you're tired, but once you show up and get a go around with whoever you're with and get everybody to talk, and then you have 2 ears, 1 mouth, listen twice as much as you talk, you're all going to get something out of it. So half the battle is just showing up. And you do have to put on your game face because you're not always going to be up all the time.
Are there any other secrets that you've discovered through your years when it comes to really connecting with people and networking and just creating a great first impression?
Well, a smile goes a long way. Can't hurt, with putting a little smile and trying to just be nice. I mean, you get more flies with honey in life, and there's so much drama out there in our world today, all around us. When people can hear somebody being engaging and charming and sweet, whoever it might be, that's what people want to enjoy. You want to be around stuff like that. You don't want to be around the wah 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 of people. You want to be around people that have courage and are committed to making a difference and show a little charisma and people that aren't afraid to be a little creative and people that can collaborate and work together as a team for the good of the whole. So I love all those things, and it's really all about communication. And I talk about the book Jordan, Spieth, with his communication skills. He has a team. You'll never hear him say, I made this putt. It's a team of we. And he collaborates to have amazing success in the golf world. And he'll continue to do that. And I also like being around people that are passionate and just care. Oprah Winfrey cares. You see that out there. Ellen cares. What does Ellen say at the end of every one of her shows? She says, be kind to one another. Yeah. So I love hearing things like that.
You do dive into how to be a better communicator in the book, and I'm curious if there's any if there's been any circumstances or situations in the company, with team members and employees that have been particularly difficult that you've had to address. I know I haven't had anywhere near as many team members as you have. I've had about a dozen. But when you bring people together every day, there's going to be issues. People are going to be going through personal challenges at home that you don't know about, whatever it may be. But how have you used your set of communication skills to work through those challenges at the office?
Well, it's not just at the office, it's with customers too. I remember one traumatic time. It was at the Super Bowl when Seattle was there several years ago in Phoenix. And we're a marketplace, so people sell on our website. And a lot of people that sold tickets on our site did not fill orders. And
good.
What happened there was we had to meet things head on to the customers that were expecting seats. And it's crazy when something like this happens. Tickets were just not available for whatever reason, so orders could not be filled. So you have to show up and meet things head on, even if it's not good news. We gave every one of the customers back their money immediately. That's not what they were looking for, but we also gave them an extra $2,000 on top of that immediately per ticket that they bought to help offset any expenses. And let me tell you, the people that did not get to go are still ordering from us today. They appreciated us meeting things head on. I threw a big party, rented out a restaurant, had a place for everybody to go, had free food, free booze, and we met it head on. And even though people are upset, it's not life or death. Everybody still has their health, but we met things head on, and you have to deal with things like that. Nothing ever happens perfect in any business. We all have to deal with stuff. I know you've made tough decisions over the years, and it's a struggle going through these tough times. Every year, it gets harder and harder to compete in business. Margins are getting squeezed. Companies are getting what I call Uberized, where what I mean by that is Uber's coming over, revolutionizing the taxi cab world. Companies like Travelocity and Expedia are coming in, revolutionizing the travel world and kicking out travel agencies. Things are happening so fast, and you have to be that fast motorboat that keeps being competitive. So we meet those things head on.
Yeah, I think that's super impressive because there's not many companies that would do that and go above and beyond the way you guys have. And that's two examples that you've already given on the fact that y'all step up to that kind of a level. And I think that's really what matters most in the long term. If you look at all of the industries that are out there today, specifically in my mind, the airline industry, pops into my head, flying business class to from Austin to London and then London to Nice. Despite the tickets that we bought and the money spent on those, it was one of the worst, experiences I've had on a plane, ever. Just the quality of the food, the quality of the service, all of it I've experienced better. And that opens up opportunities for a company like Virgin, who are built around service and actually giving a damn, right? Same for you guys and the service that you provide. There's another example that popped in my head. Yesterday, there's a juicing company, a little juicing device called Juicero, which I'm absolutely addicted to. If you like to juice, this is an easy way to go about that without having to clean up or prep anything. And they have to overnight essentially these packs that the machine squeezes out in refrigerated boxes. And twice now, FedEx has screwed up my delivery and it shows up 4 days late and the contents are all ruined, right? And they've been phenomenal. Before I've even submitted a ticket, they've emailed or called me because they're tracking the delivery status of every package to let me know that they've given me a full refund of that week's order and that they're sending out another shipment. Again, without me having to contact them. And that is just something I'll never forget because I've never experienced that before. So, yeah.
I think you nailed it. You have people like Branson, and he's pretty special. We both have had the chance to meet him because he's a really good listener. And that's one thing that surprises me about Richard Branson. And he comes up with hearing from people and he puts, Virgin together, and he makes an amazing airline that he unfortunately had to sell for a number of reasons, but he created that by hearing what matters to people. And I'll never forget, I was in Africa with Branson a couple years ago, and I said, Richard, let's play some chess. To victory or to death? And he says, Randy, then I guess death it shall be. And he did whip my ass in 10 minutes, but that's another story. But he pays attention to people, and he's just as interested in learning from other entrepreneurs as he is showing up and competing and creating companies.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's it. I think service is the best way to stand out these days, and your examples that you've shared with us here today are absolutely a testament to that. So one of the big questions I've had for you is, what is the single biggest challenge that you've had to go through, either in life personally or in business?
In life personally and in business, you can't be afraid to take chances. I remember one time, I think it was the year 2000, the bank had promised me money to buy the assets of a company that was going belly up. And this company was called soldout.com. And Sold Out was promised a hunk of money if they hit certain parameters, and they were based in New York, and I wanted them, and we were able to compete and get them out of bankruptcy, or right before bankruptcy, and I needed to come up with, I think, about 250 or 350K at that time. And, that was a lot of money back in the year 2000. And the bank promised me money, and I go to the bank finally that day. Hey, bank, I need the money that you promised me. And they're like, Randy, we can't do it. It's the year 2000. Things are going a little haywire. I'm sorry. And my heart just dropped into my stomach. And I'm like, I can't believe this is happening. And we leveraged TicketCity as best we can. We bought the assets to this company. We still use the phone number 1-800-SOLD-OUT today. And that was in July of 2000. So 2 months later, August, September, the U.S. Open was going on in tennis. And sure enough, the phones were lighting up at 1-800-SOLD-OUT, and we sold a ton of U.S. Open tennis seats. And then 2 months after that, September, October, we had the World Series. And this is an East Coast company, and it happened to be a Subway Series with the Mets and the Yankees playing each other. And then 2 months after that, I guess November, December, January, towards the end of January, we had the Super Bowl, and the Giants made it in. We paid off the investment in about 3 months and paid back all the leverage that we did. You can't be afraid to take chances, and you're going to have some stumbling blocks. But if you do things right and you are showing your character and you're committed to one another and success, you're going to come out way ahead of the game. What
advice would you give me when it comes to building Self-Made Man, as an online education company? I'm just curious, from the outside looking in, personally or professionally.
Great question. I think it's, at the end of the day, reviews and recommendations. You have to get other people to snowball what you're doing and talk about it. You want to be that one head above the sea of heads that's standing out shouting, hey, look at me, I'm Mike Dillard, I'm Randy Cohen, here I am. That's part of the game where they take notice of you. But then you have to have other people engaged where they say, Mike, that was an amazing show. If people are evangelizing what you're doing and they're getting one or two takeaways from what they've learned from your show, from some of the heavy hitters that you have on, that's tremendous. But you need to have those people evangelizing what you're doing. And it's tricky because, one person at a time isn't enough. How do you get out there on Twitter where you're getting 250,000 people or 1 million people? I haven't gotten that far yet. But at the same time, you got to keep on showing up. So half the battle is showing up even when you don't feel like it.
Is there any way that y'all do that at TicketCity as far as, creating evangelical fans?
Now, good question. We don't do that enough. We are on all the sites. We try to engage with all our clients. We do a lot of cool things. I think we're sponsoring Blues on the Green right now here in Austin. We've had our own bowl games. We had several TicketCity bowls. We were the first secondary market place to put TicketCity Bowl on the map. We had on the first game in Dallas at the Old Cotton Bowl, we had Northwestern playing Texas Tech. The second game was amazing. We had Houston, who was 12-1 at the time, playing Penn State. And Penn State really fell off the map with all the Joe Paterno stuff around 2012. And I'll never forget, this was pretty cool when you're trying to evangelize yourself and show up. I got to do the coin flip. So I'm going out to do the coin flip at the Cotton Bowl. And I have all these guys towering over me to the right and left. Penn State was to my right. Houston was to my left with Case Keenum. And I'm about to do the coin flip. And I said to myself, I can't just do a normal coin flip. I need to make a speech to these fellas. I need them to play hard. So I looked at all these guys towering over me and I said, gentlemen, victory loves preparation. And today you all have prepared yourselves to be victorious. And I looked at the Penn State guys and I said, fellas, will you play with the soul of a lion and give it everything you have? Can you do that for me? And they looked at me like deer in headlights. Yes, sir, we will. And then I looked at Case Keenum in Houston, towering over me to the left. And I said, Case, will you guys play with the heart of a cougar and lay it all out on the field? Can you do that for me? And they're like, yes, sir, we will. And I'm thinking, my kids don't listen to me this good. And then I did the worst coin toss in the history of coin toss. About 50 yards in the air, flew the coin, big waft of wind comes up, pushes the coin into a Penn State player's helmet, bounces 25 yards to the right. The referee's waddling out to the coin to figure out where that thing is, finds the coin. Penn State won the coin toss. That's all they won all game. After the game, I'll never forget, waddling out there with the big TicketCity Bowl Eagle trophy, and Case locks eyes on me. And he stares at me, and the team's following him. And you know what he says? He says, heart of a cougar, baby, heart of a cougar. Mm-hmm. The guy listened and paid attention. And I got a great game out of the deal. In our third game, we had the TicketCity Cactus Bowl. That was in Arizona. And we take chances. We don't make any money really off these games, but how do people find TicketCity? We put ourselves out there and try to be different than everybody else.
You know what would be interesting as far as creating just an unbelievably memorable experience for folks? Because, right, that, as you mentioned at the beginning of the call today, that's what people are after. That's why they're going to events, is to create memories. And it would leave me floored if I bought tickets from you guys, went to an event, and posted, pictures from it on Facebook, which everybody's going to do, or Instagram. And then a week later, just somehow magically got a framed photo, with a TicketCity frame or whatever, in the mail.
You nailed it there. There is something to be said regarding giftology.
Yeah.
So we took care of somebody the other day, one of our people that helps us deal with certain things. And I actually sent him a bottle of champagne and a shearing knife that was handcrafted not only with his name, but with his wife's name. And how cool is that? It involved the wife, and they loved it. I mean, everyone could use a little champagne shearing knife to whack that bottle and make it fun, to add a little something. But yeah, that would be tremendous. If I could get an actual Google Earth picture of them at the game and then send that picture to them, with popcorn all over their face, or, the cold beer toasting their kids. I mean, that would be amazing. So great idea.
Even there's companies like FrameBridge, which I use all the time. So I'm a guy. The last thing I want to go do is shop for freaking picture frames, right? But at the same time, I want to take some of the photos that I love the best, and I want to put them on the wall so they're not lost, in the digital space forever. And FrameBridge is awesome at that. You just upload your photo, pick out what color frame you want, and a week later they mail it to you. From a guy's perspective, it's a dream come true. So the technology exists out there to do this really easily and in an automated fashion. And, I'm just wondering if there's a way for you guys to work with them to, create a campaign like that, even if you just offer it to your customers as a service, or, whatever it may be, or some kind of partnership. But that would be that would leave me floored, right?
I love it. I'm gonna steal that from you. I'm going to have all my salespeople make sure they get in touch with their clients and say, hey, please send us a picture of you guys at the game. I want to see how much fun you all were having. Please, love to see that. They send us the picture. We take it from there. That's a great idea.
Yeah. Even your best repeat customers, right?
Absolutely. We're going to have a lot more repeat customers after we do something as simple as that.
Yeah, cool. Awesome. Well, brother, I am so appreciative for the time today and for your words of wisdom and for your friendship. So thank you so much for joining us. Where can everybody go to connect with you online and to pick up a copy of the book?
Well, a couple things. Since we're on your amazing show, let's give a little group discount for everybody. For TicketCity, if they go to TicketCity to buy tickets, they can use the code TCRC05. That's TCRC05. That'll get them a discount for any tickets they might order through TicketCity. Regarding the book Secrets of Swagger, How to Own Your Own Cool in Life and in Business, you can order that or Ticket to the Limit on Amazon and just pull up Secrets of Swagger or Ticket to the Limit. You can also refer to my name, Randy Cohen, Cohen, where you can officially be in the TicketCity and Randy Cohen loop of love.
Absolutely, brother. Well, it's always a pleasure. Thank you once again for your time today and for your support. And I'm sure I'll be seeing you here around town soon, maybe even tonight. And thank you all for listening once again. Go connect with Randy, pick up a copy of the book. It's fantastic, and we'll see you next week. Take care.